Okay, so we're back with our water pump. I got my son filming.
Hi.
Say hi, there you go. Got my son filming in the garage now. This is the lower unit I purchased off one of the guys on the iBoats forums. He was nice enough to sell it to me. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the water pump off. Now obviously this lower unit's already out. There's 4 screws on the top of the water pump housing, so we're going to pull those out. And one of them is stripped by the looks of it, so I'm going to have to take it out with a pair of pliers. And there's my 3rd screw. This one should just thumb out. Are you holding it down?
Mm-mm.
Where are you holding it?
To the machine.
Alright. So you can see my hands?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, looks like up here the previous owner was nice enough to stick. It's the assembly that goes back up into the power head, what they call a carbon washer. Now, I'm not going to use any of that. I'll just take it off and save it for a rainy day because I don't really need it for anything. There we go. So all that garbage is out of the way. And we're going to pull the entire shaft assembly and water pump off. Now as you can see inside, there's our water pump. There's a key that turns the pump. It's still in there. So we're going to take that out and put it there. I don't really need this pump, I'm just going to put it aside. I don't need the shaft either. Stick it over there. But what I need is under this plate. And we're in luck because our bearing housing looks like it's in good shape. It's not cracked like our last one. So I'm going to pop the bearing housing out. And it'll just pop right out of there. You can't really see it, but it will come out. There we go. There's the bearing housing. That's the part that we needed that was cracked on the old one. So we'll give it a little quick clean up. So from there we'll show you the 2 bearing housings. A good one and a bad one. This one looked like it might have been leaking too, because it had so you can see the new bearing housing. And there's the old one. The old one's cracked. It's split. New, old. So that's a good sign. The other reason we bought this lower unit was to get this shock absorber out of the bottom. So I'm going to pull the shock absorber up and out, which is right there. That's the part that we were after. The rest of it I could care less about. I mean, it's nice to have an extra set of gears and whatnot, but this is the part that we were after. So I'll get the other unit up and we'll drop this in and see how it goes. Okay, Nikki, hit the button that you hit before.
This?
Yeah. Alright, so this is the new lower unit. We're going to put the shock back in. As you can see, I took apart the bottom off the lower unit. This shift rod had shifted inside, and I don't know if you can see inside there. There's 2 detent springs that the shift rod rides on that give you the click whenever you engage in gear. And of course you have this is your clutch dog here. Whenever this shifter moves back and forth, it moves the clutch dog back and forth, either engaging it in reverse or in neutral. I think the actual rod was bent, so I bent it back now. There's a pin in the bottom of these motors for that shift cradle, this part right here. And what happens is guys will get these lower units and they'll see there's fill with hypoid oil. There's a drain screw there, a fill screw at the top, and then there's a drain screw at the bottom. On some motors it isn't as evident, and what guys sometimes do is they'll remove that Phillips screw that sits in the side right here that holds that shift cradle. I'm just trying to find it here on the bench. This is it here. That pin, you pull it out, it's marked with a Phillips head for a reason. It goes in the side here. If you pull that out, this is a small lower unit, so it's easy to take apart. But on a bigger motor, like a 90 horse, you pull that thing out and you're going to spend a day trying to get everything lined back up to get that pin in. So just don't ever take out that shift pin unless you plan on doing a whole lot of work. Some guys, they'll flip the motor over and try to get it back in. Some guys take the whole lower unit apart just to get that pin back in. So remember, Phillips screw, don't touch it. Always slotted screws for your drain.
Cut it.
So now that we've got our good piece ready to go, the bottom of these shock absorbers have a keyway, and what a keyway does is it'll go down into the gear, down inside. And what this gear looks like, this is out of a 9.9, but it's very similar. This one just happens to have a roller on it. This gear sits down inside like so to rotate depending on where the clutch dog moved it, forward or reverse gear. So what this thing does is it'll go down inside with the key. Now if I look down inside very carefully, I can see the part that I'm looking for, and I can see exactly where this key goes. So I'm going to drop this down inside, hope to God my key doesn't move. And you'll feel it drop right in. There we go. So now, as you can see, my new part's sitting inside. I'm going to test this with the camera off just to make sure that it's going to spin everything the way I want it to, but it should. Kind of hard to test. Oh, there it goes. See the rotation? So I know I've got that spring assembly down inside properly. I can see my prop rotating. If I go the other direction, I can see the, well, it's hard with my finger, but I know darn right well that's going to rotate. So what we're going to do is put this thing in the vise, put a bit of gasket maker. I'm going to reuse one of the gaskets, put a bit of gasket sealant on it, and we're going to put that plate back on, and then we'll be able to bolt up the lower unit. Thanks, Nikki.
Hi, my name is Nikki.
Yeah, you're Nikki. We'll give you credit in the film. How's that sound?
And
you gonna stand up? Stand up and get a close-up of this. So this is our water pump assembly that we're putting back on. Basically the rod just drops back down inside. There's the water pump. Looks to be in good shape. When I had the motor running, it was pumping water just fine. So I'm not going to bother replacing it. People say, oh, replace your pumps after 2 years and blah blah blah. I just think that's a crock. I think it's just a method for the dealerships to make money and rob people. So essentially what happens is this thing, like I said from before, this thing was split.
Stop hitting me with me on cane.
What?
I said stop hitting me with me on cane.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this apart. I know it was split and I had it apart. Anyways, we won't bother worrying about it. Oh, there's another defective piece that we see there. It's also split in the bottom. Now, I won't be able to take this apart because it's probably been sitting out here for too long. We'll just leave it. I know the other part went in properly. Essentially what happens is this goes down in here like so, and it'll bottom out. And that's your shock absorber. So we'll put the rod back down inside until we see it drop. There we go. So now we're in place. We can see, if we look at the end of the prop. Are you even looking at the camera?
Yeah.
Not a very good cameraman. What am I paying you for?
I am a good cameraman. Now shut up.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of grease. Now this is just bearing grease. I'm going to put a little bit of grease up and around this housing to aid the water pump in going in a little bit better. When you install these pumps back in, these impellers, you want to turn the direction. If you're just putting the pump back together, you want to turn the direction and let it slide down like so. Keep turning. What I'll do is I'll bolt this back up, and this lower unit will soon be ready to go back up inside the exhaust housing. Cut, buddy.